Annyeonghaseyo, 여러분, 이케온나 미라사. This is Chad with 2Ds here on this beautiful day to go ahead and show you guys 5 reasons why is it important for you guys to learn a second language. Now, I know some of you guys may have been thinking, should I learn a language? I'm thinking about learning X language here, but I don't have time. But you know what? I just want to show you guys that it's actually I want to push you guys, all right? I want to try to push you guys to that step where you guys are actually learning the language, okay? So here's the 5 reasons we can get started right away. The number 1 reason is you just may have people you want to talk to, okay? So now I know that you may say, oh, I really want to talk to this person at the store or like the grocery store or wherever you know you might meet some people who don't speak your language that you come by in day to day. I mean, we live in a society now where all types of people from all walks of earth are coming together, but they don't speak the same language. And, you know, that's fine. It's amazing that we can all live together and do that. But maybe you want to go ahead and speak their language. Whether it's networking or making new friends, just having that thing underneath your tool belt, you know, that other language, you can just go ahead and just whip that out. And, you know, those people may be more open to the idea of, you know, maybe being friends with you, maybe working some sort of business with you or doing business with you. So that is one way with that I would see. I personally love this. I personally like going ahead and seeing people. Maybe they don't realize that I speak the language or whatever language that they speak. The moment I do, they become a lot more intrigued with me. Number 2, you become more educated, and not just in language, but in culture as well. Now, with learning the language, you have to learn the culture. There's just no way around it. Whether it's you're listening to the music, you're watching media, you're seeing how these people interact with each other, you're learning the language and the culture as well. Now, that is very good, even if you guys are just speaking English with each other. Just knowing how those cultures interact and how people interact with each other can help you avoid some very, very uncomfortable situations. Maybe they don't know what's going on when you do X thing. Like, say you walk in an Asian household and you don't take off your shoes. Like, people don't know that, may not know that in terms of like some American households. Not saying that all Americans do that, but you will come across with that. Or maybe you might see some Latin communities or other communities being more friendly with each other, more embraces of each other. I know maybe some European cultures do that type of thing as well. They're very friendly with each other. So you may see those things, and it may stop you from pulling back. Even though it may be a little uncomfortable, you understand why that's the case. You understand where it's coming from. Number 3, it just makes traveling easier. You can go anywhere without having to worry, or you can go to some place that you know speaks that language, and you don't have to be worried that, I hope everyone here can speak English, or the people that I'm going to interact with speak with English. That also kind of just limits your travel experience, you know? You can only go around these things. I mean, yeah, sure, people get around with speaking English and they may not speak that language and they get around fine, but just having that knowledge, that tool that you guys have, they can just go ahead, you can traverse much more easily, and just have a good time. I think that's a very key thing. Even in communities in America, there's some communities in America that, you know, even like I said, people don't speak English all over the place. My father, he doesn't speak English as well. His English is very poor. So I go ahead and I can go into his community and speak whatever language that they're speaking. I mean, he speaks Spanish, but we can go ahead and take care of that right away. I have no problem with going into the Spanish community. Even if you travel to a country that doesn't speak that specific language, the cool thing about languages is that they're all related. There's a lot of similarities between the languages. Once you guys get to learn those languages, you start to see the similarities. You may hear words that you might not be able to pick every word that another language is saying, but you can go ahead and take that and you might hear bits and pieces and say, okay, they may be talking about this situation based on the context. That's the cool thing about learning languages, you know. You can kind of pick up things just by context, and then build your vocabulary and your vernacular over there. Number 4, you just become more included. Now, I'm not saying that inclusion is important and you need to fit in with any group of people or anything like that, but people are more inviting when you go ahead and speak their language. Maybe you are hanging around with a group of Spanish people, and there's a group of, or maybe there's a group of Spanish people that is around you. If they see that you're speaking their language, they don't have to feel uncomfortable changing their language to English in order to compensate just for you, the one only person, or maybe the few only people who speak English or who speak it as well as you do. You can speak Spanish with them and feel included, and they don't have to worry, and it puts them more at ease, and they can keep with their culture. Same thing with Asian languages and other languages. Maybe there's a group of Chinese students who walk in and they're hanging out, and then you might hear what they're saying. You speak some Chinese, and then they want to talk to you. So I would definitely say that when you learn their language, people want to know more about you. People want to know who you are, how you know this language, and they also want to bring you in and show you other things about their language and culture. Maybe they like showing things. I know I like when I talk to foreign people and they not too familiar with English, and I'm very excited when I teach them something new about English. It's very like, oh, I'm showing you this for the first time, and it's very exciting. So, just if you do that, you can meet some new people. Like I said, it just all goes back to just meeting people. And we as humans, we want to live around people. We're not just these singular people. I mean, yeah, we're individuals, but we want to make sure that we stay with a community. You know what I mean? Like, say if you went to any country and you couldn't speak their language, you would not feel so included in there. You would probably feel like the lone person out. So if you do that, you can join into that group. And this all goes around. Number 5, it shows discipline, people. Now, it's not easy to learn a language, but it's not hard as well. Trust me, it's not hard. If you make this part of your everyday life, if you make this like a weekly part of your life, you can slowly build that language acquisition. I've been learning. I would still consider myself a student in Spanish, and even though been speaking it for over 10 years, I still consider myself a student, and I'm always learning. And that's just something that I'll always be until I'm old and I don't know I might know more languages at that point. I also speak Korean as well. I mean, I've only been speaking it for a year, but I took the things that I learned from Spanish, the tools that I use, and translate it into that language. Now, if people who know second language, maybe you guys can do that as well. As like I said, languages, they're very, how would I say it? They have a system to each, and you just have to find what the system is and break it down. It's like coding. You can just go ahead, and the language might be different, but there's certain certain basics that languages have that once you just figure that out, it's just building from there. All right, people, that's the end of this video. If you did like that, go ahead and drop a like and a subscription down below. Leave a comment as well if you would like to. I am trying to start a community here, people. I really like languages. I love them. Maybe one day I can pick up another language once I'm satisfied with the point where I am at with Korean. Now, this is a Korean-based channel. I am planning on making more videos later on. That is the intention. But for that being said, I'll see you guys later, guys. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye-bye.